Hi everyone, it's me. Sorry if I'm so sweaty. I just got back from the gym. I just, I'm, uh, I'm misting and glowing and all those other ings that have to do with working out at the gym. And I'm finally home and I'm gonna finally relax. But I wanted to talk about reinvention and the kind of things we have to consider and when we become empty nesters. I became an empty nester not by my choice. I'm not. It's not a humorous topic, but it's been 10 years and it's past the point. Um, it's past a point, and I had to decide after being called mom for 20 years what I was gonna do when that title or label or description was not going to be used in my life anymore. And initially, when our children leave, we go through a series of it's a type of a loss. And everyone deals with loss differently. We all grieve differently. And we come to a place, if we have identified as being a mom for a long, long time, you come to a point in your life when you have to say, okay, my kids have moved on. I am now I am now back to not the place I was before I had children, because you have a wealth of knowledge and experience and connection because you were a mom. You've met a lot of different people, maybe through your children's school, and maybe you've made some lifelong friends. Well, what do you do when your kids are gone and you've come to a place where you have made peace with it? And it's not that you don't worry about your children and you don't pray about them and you don't think about them, but what do you do when your identity is not solely rested on the fact that you have been a mother for, and may have been a majority of your life, or half of your life, or 3/4 of your life, or a third of your life? So what do you do? Well, it's time for some reinvention. And now, instead of looking outward and making sure everyone's taken care of, now it's time to take care of yourself. And I remember I was raised in a family. My grandmother was the matriarch of our family. She kept everything in line and ran the house, and my grandfather went to work, and my grandma did a really good job. And I always remember her serving everyone first. She would, tell everyone else to go in line and take food, family parties, go get your food. I'm fine, go get your food. And she always put herself of service to other people. That's just the way she was. And she was the most loving, kind, and giving person I'd ever met in my life. But she had the most gentle spirit and kind heart, and she was the most loving and accepting person. She didn't ask the hard questions, but she always did ask the hard questions if the topic came about and you had to discuss things that were uncomfortable. But I always remember her putting things first. And although all of her children left, and then her life was filled with grandchildren, and we all were together all the time, every weekend. There was a birthday party, or there was an anniversary, or someone was getting married, or whatever. So her life still revolved around her children and her grandchildren. But today, sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes our children move on and we're not a part of all of that, and we no longer have a family unit, and we're sitting here going, okay, now what? And now's the time that we start our reinvention process. And the reinvention process is a number of different things. It's you ask yourself, how do I put myself first? How do I let go of the need to care for other people, or the need to invest in other people, or the need to worry about other people? And it's almost like a shift. Slowly but surely, every single morning when you wake up, you almost have to say, what can I do for myself today? And if you've been a selfless person, it's almost, it's the oddest feeling, because a lot of people think, if I don't put my children first, I am a selfish person. I'm not going to be viewed as a good mom, or so on and so forth. And I'm letting you know that it is okay to wake up in the morning and say, what can I do for myself today to enhance my life, to make it better, to a little bit of self-improvement? What is something I can do for me? And over time, when you do this on a regular basis, it will become normal for you to consider putting yourself first and doing whatever you have to in order to start to shift and reinvent yourself. How did I do it? My daughters have been gone for 10 years, and it was not by my choice. And they left, and I said, oh, what am I going to do? Who am I going to pour myself into? And the answer slowly became clear. I had to start pouring me into myself. So how do you do it? You just basically get up and you start. You make a commitment to yourself to start treating yourself with gentleness and kindness and love and compassion. And you choose, you make a conscious decision to focus on yourself, even if you wake up and you have to go to work. And maybe you get some breaks at work, but instead of reaching out to other people, you're going to either read a book, work on a craft, maybe crochet something, or maybe color in a book. Do something for yourself. Maybe just sit and journal. Where I used to work, I had half an hour break, and I just sit. We had a lunchroom, but it was more for the workers, for our crew than. So normally I sometimes would just take a walk. I worked at an airport, and we had these plow blades that were fairly long. Walked out and I saw this pigeon had nested in a part of the plow blade, and underneath her was two babies. So every day I went out and I watched her sitting on the nest, and then I watched her get up and the babies were under her, and I watched the babies grow, and I would leave out food for them. And so as much as I was trying to do it for these doves, I was also doing it for myself. So that's all I wanted to talk about, was what have you done for yourself? And now that your kids are gone and they're out of the house, how are you going to reinvent yourself? What are you going to do to finally do some self-care and some self-love and some self-preservation? There's a lot of things you can do, but the first thing you do is you have to make a commitment to do it, and you have to make a conscious decision and put forth some effort. So that's all I wanted to talk about, the reinvention process. It's not easy. Sometimes we go kicking and screaming, and sometimes we hold on to the past hoping that we can still be there and our life would still be the same as it was before. But when you have no choice, your only choice is either to sink or swim. You have to either stay in bed and cry every day, or you can get up and find a reason to smile. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope this video helps someone, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.